Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Ferland, crowdfunding consultant and fellow author, and I'm here to tell you the number one reason why crowdfunding campaigns fail is because the author did not build up their audience before they launched. It's absolutely the number one reason, because it is the number one reason cited to me over and over and over and over again by authors that they hate building their audience. They hate it. They absolutely hate it. The idea of building a list or a social media presence or sending emails, they just hate it. And let me tell you, if your goal is not to sell books, then you don't have to worry about building an audience. You know, if you just want to write books and publish them and you don't care about who reads them, then don't worry about it. You don't need to build an audience. But if you want anyone to read your book, if you want anyone to buy your book, if you want anyone to do anything, you have to build an audience of people who are interested in what you're doing and who are enthusiastic about what you're doing. And since crowdfunding has a lot of incentives to it, but also there's a lot of friction to it because it's still outside the norm of buying, like it's not a typical way that readers find books, you have to do a lot of nurturing, you have to do a lot of education, you have to do a lot of hand-holding to get people to actually support your campaign. So because of that, you're not going to convert a lot of people. So your audience needs to be a bit larger than you think, because you're only going to convert a small number of people, even if they say they're super interested. So we really want to build an audience first, engage with those people, and get as many people on board as possible. So we are not going to launch to crickets. We're not going to launch to silence. That's the worst feeling in the world. We really want to launch to an engaged and enthusiastic audience. And you need to be honest with yourself about how engaged and enthusiastic they are. Not just it's your enthusiasm and everyone loves your book idea and it's going to go really well. There are some books that are not well suited to crowdfunding, and there are some books that just take off. But generally it's because there is a crowd, an enthusiastic crowd behind the ones that take off, and there is not an enthusiastic crowd behind the ones that don't. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm bringing up my notes here. Okay. If you do not build your audience before you launch, your campaign is most likely going to flop unless someone comes in with a parachute and saves you at the last minute. Like, it's probably not going to go well. Here's why. Number one, not enough people know about your campaign before you launch. You've kind of like done a sneak attack and you've launched your campaign, but successful campaigns start building momentum months before they launch. And most authors assume that they can rely on the platform's audience, like Kickstarter. Kickstarter has, 1 billion people a month scrolling by. But it does not matter, because just like launching a book on Amazon, you still need to send people to your page to find it. It's not that people are just going to click through the deep pages of Kickstarter and find your book and support it. You have to get it up to that front page, and that relies on algorithms and all the stuff that we're not in control of, right? More or less. So what this means for you is you need to have an audience before you launch who need to be on board with the crowdfunding process and say, yes, I absolutely love this book. Can't wait to get it. Sign me up. And they already have an account and they're already good to go. All right. The second reason that this is a struggle is a weak launch day. Launch day is the strongest day you will have. I have seen authors, been doing this since 2017, so I've seen everything. I have seen authors come back after a weak launch day, but it is so hard. So after launch day, that's the most exciting day. That's the day you can get most people on board. You're offering incentives. You're like, yay, get it. It's the launch day. Be part of the first day that we go live. After that, now you're convincing the people who aren't on board. And if you have a weak launch day, meaning you didn't convert people who would have been on board, there may be something wrong with your campaign in general. There could be something wrong with the messaging. There could be something wrong with the reward structure. There could be something just wrong with the transparency of it. I mean, I have seen authors post, $35 paperback books and then charge $50 for shipping. And they don't realize that this is a critical error, and you're just losing backers. Take one look at it and they go, no, I'm not doing that. So there are some errors that you can make that can lead to this sort of weak first day. What you're going for is at least 30 or 50 people supporting your campaign on launch day. That would be huge. If you can fund 40% of your total goal amount, whatever that is, 40% on day one, that's a huge start, and you're rocketing to success, right? And so you really need to have a strong launch day. I've had clients with different goals. You know, they say they want to be fully funded in 2 days. That means we have to hit 75%, 80% on day one. That's just kind of what it means. Because the next day is always lower, always lower. I mentioned it before, but reason number 3 is you could have messaging that just isn't converting readers. I always spend a lot of time on messaging and the reason why, the compelling reason why a reader should support your project, why the book is the best book. And this is where you have to take off your author cap and put on your marketing cap, because you need to create a compelling reason why anyone should read your book. What is it that it does? I don't care if it's a rhyming children's book, it does something for the reader. It takes them to a mystical place. It introduces a dragon or a dinosaur best friend or whatever. Come up with 10 different reasons why someone absolutely needs to buy your book. And then you're going to test that in the pre-launch and during your campaign to see what messaging really resonates. So what you need to do is find the messages that resonate, and those are the ones that go into your campaign. Those are the ones that you hit over and over again during your 21 or 30-day campaign. But it's really tough. You need an audience. You have to have a clear marketing strategy, a strong launch day, and messaging that resonates. Okay, so without these things, your campaign is likely to struggle, but don't worry, we're going to talk about that. Okay, so here is what successful authors do differently. And I love working with successful authors. Professionally, I try to make all of my authors be successful. It's not possible. I cannot guarantee success, but I can tell you the difference, the mindset difference between a successful author and an unsuccessful author. Now, there are some unsuccessful authors who've had wonderful mindsets. They're wonderful people. Their books are great. They just didn't quite get there. And there is a point where they start to doubt themselves, where you start to like lose that confidence. And that's really tough. It happens. It happens. This is life. You know, it happens, and it's not always the end of the world. Okay, so here's what successful authors do differently, and it's just a flip. But 3 to 6 months before they launch, they start building their audience, right? They have an email list, they're engaging them, they're creating behind the scenes content, they're reaching out to other authors, and they're really building the energy before launch, and you can tell. So you really need to start engaging your readers early, and they need to be ready. You need to almost have like a launch day and tell people like, we're launching on May 1st. Mark your calendars, save the date, so that people are ready to take action. Number 2, they have a launch plan. They don't just put up a page and a video. They actually have a plan. They have a compelling story, a compelling why, well-structured reward tiers, and a pre-launch email sequence, social media, all of that. All of it is tied into this launch plan, where it's not just posting a campaign or posting your book and saying, hey, it's live. It's live, go check it out. That's not a plan. That is a hope and a dream put together with gum and shoestring. That's not a plan. Number 3 is they leverage and mix marketing channels. So you can't rely on any one strategy, right? So if you're relying only on email and no one's opening your emails, that's tough. If no one's clicking through your emails, if you're only relying on social media and all of a sudden the social media shuts down. This has happened where social media platforms have changed their algorithms and just your posts aren't being seen by anyone. What are you going to do? You have to have a mix of channels and partnerships and strategic alliances so that you're constantly making touch points with different people in your target readership, not just anyone, not just handing flyers out on the street and broadcasting the fact that your book is live. Different touch points and different reasons why, different angles. Remember all the reasons why someone should read your book. Say that in a million different ways to a million different people who are interested in your book. They need to be in your target readership. Otherwise, again, you're just kind of like spamming people. So this is not a campaign. A successful campaign doesn't just happen. It's planned. It's carefully planned and executed and built on strong audience engagement. And now we're going to dive into how you can implement these strategies for your own campaign. Okay, so here's exactly the timeline that you need before you launch. So 3 to 6 months before you launch, you need to build an engaged email list, social media, offer strategic freebies, your first 2 chapters of your book. Sometimes if you're doing a children's book, you offer the entire ebook. And that means that some of you are not going to do this because if your book is not ready for production, you may not be ready to market it. You have to have a book cover. You have to have a book cover and a freebie. I have an entire thing on how to grow your audience. So if you need help, you can grab that. It talks about all the things you need and how to set it up, how to set up your email automation and grow your audience in your email. Growing your audience on social media, not as important. Again, use social media to create relationships and to connect with people, but I don't care about the number of followers you have. Do you know how many times I had 22,000 followers on TikTok? I would post a video and it would get 200 views. 200 views is great. Sometimes it would get 50,000 views. It was completely unpredictable. I don't want that type of unpredictability going into something I have money on the line for, where if I post something and it gets seen by 50,000 people or gets seen by 200 people, that to me is rolling the dice in a way that's not comforting for me. I don't feel secure in that environment. So I want to rely on email marketing, which is exactly what I use to develop relationships and engage with my readers. Share your journey on social media without selling anything. You're just connecting with people. Connect with influencers, podcasters, bloggers, fellow authors, everyone. Reach out to absolutely everyone and make as many meaningful connections as you can, because these meaningful connections made 3 to 6 months in advance are going to pay off in the long run. Not every single one of them, but most. Okay. Then 1 month before launch, you really want to announce your campaign, build excitement, get that pre-launch waitlist, sign up page. Kickstarter and BackerKit now have like a pre-launch page where people can follow your project and be notified when it goes live. So you can do that. Start to get followers on that page. Warm them up. Keep your audience excited. Tell them what's coming. Show them sneak peeks. And you really want to focus on having 30 to 50 people support you on day one and commit to supporting you. I talked about this in another video on, your 100 backer strategy. If you have 50 people supporting you, you absolutely will get to 100. So and also it's all about how you kind of need 750 people to get that 100. You need 1,000 people to get 100. So you have to reach out to a ton of people, but see if you can get 100 people to support you on launch day. A fraction of those people are going to support you on launch day. If you can get 30 to 50, that would be fantastic. Then, of course, during launch week, you need to send out multiple emails. This is a huge mistake that I see a lot of authors doing, is they just kind of launch and then they're silent. No one knows your campaign's going on. Do you know how noisy it is out there with social media and email? Like, people just don't see it. And so we see the lack of backers coming in as, oh, well, they don't want my book, as opposed to, oh, they haven't seen my campaign. And it seems crazy because to you, you're shouting it from the rooftops, but to everyone else, they're like, oh, was that today? I missed that. So don't take it personally. That's one of the biggest lessons. It's just, I always assume when I run my own campaigns for my own books, which is always stressful as a crowdfunding consultant to do this on my own, because I feel like I have to run a huge campaign. And honestly, I don't have time to do all of this and help all these authors. So I always get super stressed. I assume you haven't seen my message. Not that you've seen it and you've decided it's not for you. I assume you haven't seen it. Until you tell me, Lisa, I'm not interested, I will continue to put it out there, especially to the people who said they were interested. If you said you were interested, I will continue to put it in front of you over and over again until the campaign ends, because you said you were interested. If you're not interested, you can unsubscribe. That's easy. So don't stress about it. Put it in front of people over and over and over again. Also, say thank you. I say thank you all the time. I'm so grateful to everyone who supports me. Send thank you notes, mention it on social media, put it in your emails, highlight, lead with gratitude. And to me, it feels good to say thank you to people. and to let them know how much you appreciate their support, and also that you're celebrating certain milestones. Thank you so much to Lisa for getting us to 99% funded. I'm so grateful to you and to everyone. We couldn't have done it without you. Such a great way to promote and as well to share gratitude. And always use live streams. Go live on social media, use Q&A sessions. So many crowdfunding platforms now have a live capability where you can live stream. BackerKit has a live streaming capability. So you can interact with your readers in new ways on social media. All right. So crowdfunding isn't about luck. It's about preparation. It's about hard work. And when you follow these steps, you dramatically increase your chances of hitting your goal. If you set a SMART goal based on the size of your audience and you do all these things, you dramatically increase your rates of success. Okay, I'm not even going to say chances of success. Your rate of success is going to go up. If you don't do these things, why would you launch them? All right, so the biggest mistake authors make is launching without an audience. If you need help growing your audience, I have my email marketing for authors guide. You can save money. It's only for $27. I put the link in the bottom so you can grab it. It has everything you need. 1 hour, 23-minute masterclass on how to create a reader lead magnet. If you don't know what any of that is, you definitely need this video, as well as email marketing guide for authors, email launch templates, a 3-day email welcome sequence, like everything you need to do to set up your emails so that you are in front of your readers over and over and over again. Okay, it's only $27. A link is in the bottom. Okay, you've already put in all of this hard work into your book, so let's make sure that you have built an audience that wants to read it. All right, let me know if you have any questions, leave a comment or send me an email. All right, thanks everyone.